What is going on, Gridiron fans? I am the Gridiron Guy, and this is my Week 4 mock draft based on the order of the draft at this point. Okay? So, COVID has hit the NFL pretty hard. We have players out. Stuff's getting crazy. Maybe some guys never play football again. Who knows? So, with that being said, I got a little wrinkle in this draft. You'll see as we get going. But, if you haven't been here before, click the subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. I'm really trying to get this page off the ground. If you like my videos, give me a thumbs up. Click the like button. Smash that like button. And click the bell for future notifications so you can come back and see my videos in the future. It would really help the growth of this channel, and I'd really appreciate it. So, with all that being said, let's get started. Let's have a little fun with this mock draft. Okay, so first things first. I'm just gonna say, like, hey, what if the Jets decide to keep Sam Darnold and just fire Adam Gase? Okay? So, what would they do if they did that? Okay? So here we go. If they decide to keep Sam Darnold, they're not going to draft Trevor Lawrence, because then they're going to have to pay 2 quarterbacks in a couple of years. So, how about you get Sam Darnold some protection? How about the best offensive tackle in the draft, Penei Sewell? There we go. So now, the New York Football Giants on the board. And they are going to draft Gregory Rousseau. Try and get back to their roots of getting after the quarterback. They need to draft an edge rusher. Okay. So now, the Giants didn't need a quarterback. They just drafted Daniel Jones. So, they don't need a quarterback. Washington football team. Loaded quarterback room. Currently, right now in Week 4, the Washington football team benched Dwayne Haskins. They let him know, hey, just because you're a first-round pick doesn't mean you get to play. You're going to have to earn it. Especially since, the current regime is not the regime that drafted him. So they don't really owe him anything. So, with that being said, Kyle Allen is serviceable. They already got Dwayne Haskins. They even have Alex Smith on their roster. So, I don't see them taking Trevor Lawrence. Too many quarterbacks already. Or Justin Fields. No quarterbacks. So, whomever the quarterback is going to be, that person's going to need a weapon. Like Ja'Marr Chase. Beast. Ja'Marr Chase. Like last year, we were like, oh, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Ruggs? Is it going to be Judy? Is it going to be Lamb? Who's going to be the number 1 wide receiver taken? This year, it's clear. It will be Ja'Marr Chase. Nobody will go ahead of Ja'Marr Chase. Nobody. He is just that dude. Okay, so now, we're at the Dolphins. Dolphins ain't taking Trevor Lawrence. They just drafted Tua. And they have Fitzpatrick. So, that doesn't make sense for them to take quarterback either. So, Trevor Lawrence slips again. So, what would the Dolphins do instead? Well, they'll just take the best defensive player left. Micah Parsons. These guys really need to get back to stopping the run, especially in that division. The Patriots love to run the ball. The Bills love to run the ball. You get a guy like Micah Parsons who knows how to stop the run like that. This guy will be. You pair him with some of the guys that are already on that defense. You need a pretty good defense going forward. Okay. Well, the Bengals don't need a quarterback. They just drafted Joe Burrow. But one thing they do need to do is help Joe Burrow stay upright. So, Joe Burrow is going to need a guy like Creed Humphrey. 2 years ago, they take Jonah Williams. This year, they take Creed Humphrey. Just start building up that offensive line in front of him. He's got weapons to throw to. He's got running backs to the rock. What he needs is a little bit more help up front to keep him protected. That defense is playing okay, so I think the it's not a sexy pick, but the smart pick is to just get him more bodies in front of him. Okay. The Broncos don't need a quarterback because they just drafted Drew Lock a couple years ago. So, Trevor Lawrence is still not going? No, he's not. The Broncos do need help on defense. Their defense is okay, but they could use some youth on their defense. Because right now it's not looking good. So, I think they're going to take a guy like Caleb Farley. So, Caleb Farley's a beast. He's a good press corner. He's tall. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. He will jam guys off the line. Jam them. Straight jammer. All right. Now, Gardner Minshew, Trevor Lawrence. Okay, yeah, I admit, Gardner Minshew has done some good things. Is he ever going to be Trevor Lawrence? I think not. I think Trevor Lawrence will be. They're calling him the most pro-ready quarterback since Andrew Luck. In reality, he does not fall to number 7. He doesn't get past number 2 in the real draft. But we're not doing trades here. Later on, I will start doing some mock drafts where I do trades. This isn't one of them. This isn't going to be that one. So, we're picking where we're at. We're not moving. All these teams in front, these teams here didn't need a quarterback. This one decided they were going with the one they had. So, Trevor Lawrence to the Jaguars. Congratulations, Jacksonville. Okay. So now we have the Panthers on the board. The Panthers. What are the Panthers going to go with? Now that Trevor Lawrence is off the board, the Jaguars couldn't let their buddies, the expansion team, both these teams came into the league together. Jaguars say, no, we're getting our quarterback first. You can have Trey Lance, which honestly, Trey Lance fits in perfect with that system. Perfect. He is the perfect quarterback for this system. He's good on bootlegs. He's good at throwing slants. He's an accurate quarterback. This guy did not throw an interception in college. Like 42 touchdowns, no picks. Accurate. Super accurate. Dolphins back on the board. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get Tua a weapon. And one that he's familiar with. Jalen Waddle. Threw to him in college. Now he's going to throw to him in the pros. I think Tua starts next year. I think Tua might start by the end of this year. If the Dolphins aren't even close to contention, they only got a couple wins at the end of the year, you're going to see Tua get 3, 4, 5 games in before the end of this season just to get his feet wet. Because you never know if COVID hits again next year and there's no... I don't even want to think about that. Anyway, the Falcons. Falcons cannot stop a nosebleed. They can't stop anything. They just keep blowing big lead after big lead. So what would I do if I can't hold a lead? The same thing the Falcons should have been doing for the last 10 years because they can't get after the quarterback. Quincy Roche will get after the quarterback for you. When you get up and you get a big lead on some of these teams, Quincy Roche will pin his ears back, and he will come after that opposing quarterback, and he will be disruptive for you. Vikings on the board. Tempted to take Justin Fields here because, Kirk Cousins is just not getting it done. He's all right. He knows how to spread the ball around, but he's definitely not their long-term answer. But they just signed him to a big contract extension, so obviously they're going with him for the future. So a sexy pick, a cool pick here to mix things up would be Justin Fields. But I just don't see it realistically happening. So let's go in another direction and say, okay, if Kirk Cousins is your quarterback, then you're going to need some hog mollies. So we got these two big boys right here who come from Alabama. Alabama loves to run the ball. Look at all the great running backs that Alabama's had over the last 15 years. They love to run the ball down there in Alabama. And so does the Vikings. They love to get the ball to Dalvin Cook. So, Christian Barmore. That's their guy. Big, inside guy. He's just downhill runner. He will just straight downhill cut block. Boom. Alright. Chargers. Chargers are not taking a quarterback either, so Justin Fields is going to sit a little bit longer. They just took Herbert, who looks pretty good. Herbert looks really good. A lot of people were down on him coming into the draft. And we're saying, oh, he shouldn't go that high, and blah, blah, blah. It worked out. He's been playing his butt off. So, why don't they get him some protection? They could. We got some stout cornerbacks here, though, who really, really need to start coming off this board. Yeah. I'm going to say the Chargers take Patrick Surtain the second. His dad was a beast from Miami. One of my favorite players. I enjoyed watching him. Son's no different. He comes from that NFL pedigree, being a second-generation football or NFL player. So, all right. We're looking at the Lions. Man, what do we do for the Lions? Man, the Lions need... They could use wide receiver, defensive line, linebacker. Man, we got Dylan Moses sitting right here at the top. They just took a corner last year really high. It looks like that defense is starting to come around. But wouldn't it be great if you had a guy like Dylan Moses in the middle to help you stop the run, stop the nosebleeds? That division, like I was just talking about down here, that division loves to run the ball. The Vikings love to run the ball. The Bears like to run the ball. The Packers like to run the ball, even though Aaron Rodgers likes to sling it for 400 yards as well. You can't stop the run in that division. You can't win it. Period. Can't win it. Okay. So now, we have the Eagles on the board. Eagles cannot get out of their own way. They just can't. But the Eagles do need some offensive weapons. They need a little bit more firepower. They could use a cornerback to help them stop some of these defenses. There's a lot of big-time wide receivers in their division. Terry McLaurin, you got Cooper, you got Lamb, you got anybody that can stay healthy for the Giants. Yeah, I'm going to say Tyson Campbell. This guy's playing down there in the SEC. He's faced a lot of these guys. He didn't face Cooper, way before his time. But he's faced guys like Devontae Smith. He's faced guys like Jalen Waddle. Down here, Jamar Chase. He's faced both Ruggs and Judy. Brian Edwards. He's faced all these guys. He's faced these guys. So you're coming out of the SEC, and you're a solid starter. You can walk onto an NFL team and start playing right away, because some of these SEC wide receivers that come out, they are just stout beasts. Okay, so my Raiders. This is edge, linebacker, interior line, D line. I kind of disagree with edge and linebacker. I think offensive line and defensive line, interior defensive line is probably slightly more important than these other two. So, what would I do? Well, we don't really need a tackle, an offensive tackle. Down here we have Wyatt Davis, who's a pretty good guard. Not in love with it. We got Aiden Hutchinson. That is actually a good pick. Up here you have Marvin Wilson. This guy is an animal. What to do? Linebacker's just not happening right here. If that was the case, the Eagles would have got a linebacker. But, Sean Wade. No, that's just a sexy pick. You definitely don't need corner. I think their young corners are working out. Okay, I'll take Aiden Hutchinson. University of Michigan. Okay. Browns. Linebacker, edge, interior offensive line, tackle. The Raiders didn't need a tackle, but the Browns could use a tackle. Alex Leatherwood. Just keep building that line in front of that two-headed monster running back with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Currently here in week 4, Nick Chubb just went down. You got Baker Mayfield, got to keep him upright. You got good wide receivers. So why don't you just start building that offensive lineup? That defense looks pretty good. They give up a lot of yards, but they can keep the points down, which is good. Now, I didn't even realize this, but the Bears are sitting here at 17, and Justin Fields is still here. Makes too much sense. Which is probably why the Bears would blow it. But I am in control, not the Bears. They take Justin Fields. The Mitch Trubisky experience is over. People can stop talking about it. He can go be a backup somewhere. Or he should be. Alright. the Jacksonville Jaguars back on the board. So, the first time around, they got Trevor Lawrence. That offensive line is okay, but you could use some help from that offensive line. Maybe they get him a wide receiver to throw to. Maybe. They just took C.J. Henderson, so I don't know if they're going to take a corner. Defensive line, they just loaded up there. So, comes down to Trey Smith, Wyatt Davis. You know what? Right here. Samuel Cosmi. This guy is alright. This guy is pretty dang good. Samuel Cosmi. That's their offensive tackle. So you go and get Trevor Lawrence, and then you write the insurance check, you get your tackle. That's how it works. Alright. The Colts. The Colts? I don't know why this says cornerback and safety. Because, I mean, okay, yes, I do know why. Because the future, in the next 2 years, their secondary will be in trouble because they don't have existing contracts going forward for too long. So, with that being said, well, the reason I say that is because the Colts defense is number 1 against the pass currently right now. They are the number 1 defense against the pass. So your corners and safeties obviously attribute to that. But for the future, Paulson Adebo, another big corner, 6'1", 190. Man, there are just so many big press corners in this draft. Just so many. Okay, let's keep it moving. The Cardinals. This is going to be easy. Trey Smith. You already have the quarterback. You got the wide receivers. Why don't you start protecting them? I feel like I've been saying this entire video. Okay, Titans. Ooh. We have Tyler Shelvin. Or we have Jalen Twyman. I really like both these picks. This guy is 362 pounds. Now, I don't think it's his time. Jalen Twyman being compared to Aaron Donald, actually, because Aaron Donald came from the same school. Jalen Twyman, roughly the same size. Look, and Aaron Donald's 6 foot, 290, 292, whatever. This guy's similar, very similar. Very similar in the way he uses his hands and his power. Definitely not as explosive as Aaron Donald, but he's just being compared to him because he's coming from the same school and he's roughly the same size and, just kind of reminds people of him. Okay, the Patriots, they could go almost anywhere with their picks. Yeah, it's gonna have to be Marvin Wilson. Marvin Wilson, I don't know. Yeah, Marvin Wilson. Okay, Cowboys can't stop anybody. They need a guy like Shaun Wade. Like I've been saying, this guy, big press guy. These guys will get after you. Coming from that long line of Ohio State corners, this is the next guy. Buffalo Billy Bobs. Okay. Buffalo Bills. I mean, they have Ladarius White on one side, Josh Norman right now at corner on the other side. They need to lock up corner for the next couple years. Asante Samuel Jr., another guy whose father played in the NFL at the same position. His father was an animal. Shut down corner. Don't throw his way. Okay, Steelers. Now, says quarterback. There's no quarterbacks left for the Steelers. But there is a guy by the name of Tyler Shelvin, who we just saw a few minutes ago, who's 362 pounds. What defense does the Steelers run? Oh, that's right, they run a 3-4. They need a nose tackle. They need a big hog molly in the middle. They need a future nose, and that's Tyler Shelvin, 362 pounds. That's a man right there. That's a man. Okay, we got the Saints. Saints. You know what? I think the Saints do. You know, we kind of ran out of some of these corners here. Yeah, kind of added some of these corners. No. Actually, here we go. Pat Freiermuth from Penn State. Complete tight end. Gives. This guy's a possession guy. Gives them more. It gives them more weapons to throw to. This gives Drew Brees or Taysom Hill or, geez, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jameis Winston gives somebody an extra weapon other than Michael Thomas or Emmanuel Sanders or Taysom Hill or Alvin Kamara. Just gives you that weapon at tight end. You know, I feel like they are pretty good everywhere else, other than maybe quarterback after Drew Brees leaves. Okay, we got this 49ers. 49ers. Man, you know what the 49ers really need? Hassan Naraldine. That's what they need. They need a good safety. Why? Because there's no corners. That's why. I mean, Richard Sherman's getting old, but there's just no first round corners left. None. There's barely any second round corners left. Yeah. So, Bucks need edge, wide receiver, running back. You know what? I'm gonna go Rondale Moore. All right, now the Green Bay Packers. I'm gonna do what they should have done this year, and that's get Aaron Rodgers a damn weapon. Now, Devontae Smith, he's 6'1". He's got a thin frame. This guy can run. They compare him to Henry Ruggs. You know, you already have Devontae Adams. Now you're gonna have Devontae Smith. You know, the Devontae brothers, whatever you want to call them, whatever you can come up with. But I think that's where he should go. If he goes to the Green Bay Packers, that offense takes another step forward. Okay, now we have the Ravens. Man, who wants to give them anything, right? They do need wide receiver. They need safety help. Paris Ford would be good. You know what? They just lost Earl Thomas. Paris Ford would be a good pickup for them, especially at the end of the first round. You know, boom, you got it. The Jets. Look at this. Oh man. This is just a mess. I think it doesn't say it here, but Frank Gore is their running back right now. He's 36 years old. He probably signed a one-year deal. I don't know that for sure. He probably signed a one-year deal. I think they move on from Le'Veon Bell, and I think this is why. Because they were able to land Travis Etienne in the first round. I'd let those other guys go. Maybe not Gore, but Le'Veon Bell definitely can take a walk. Okay, and simply enough, Kansas City Chiefs need a tackle. Jalen Mayfield, Michigan churns out tackles like it's their job, right? So Michigan churns out another first-round pick at tackle. And there you have it, everyone. That's my mock draft. Mock draft number 2, week 4. So there's that last pick. Kansas City Chiefs, Jalen Mayfield. So let me know what you think. Am I crazy for letting Trevor Lawrence slide? Was I even crazier for letting Justin Fields get so deep? What do you think? Leave it in the comments below. Smash that like button. Subscribe. And I am the Gridiron Guy. And I am out.